Salutations, my friends.
I was waiting for how you were going to start, and it was a long pause, so I was going to start singing. Woohoo!
100 episodes.
Actually 100.
This is episode 100 of Dinner Plus
Yes.
Drinks. We've released more than that in the feed, but Bridget.
Cheers to us, man. We have this lovely balloon display behind us. If you are watching on YouTube, it says 100. I believe we've used it on a different episode, the 100 in the feed episode, but this one is 100 real Dinner Plus Drinks.
Cheers,
How exciting.
Bridget.
Cheers.
You guys know us. We have bubbles. We have some sparkling wine from France. It's Cremant.
Just like breathed in the bubbles up my nose. Okay.
It's Cremant de Bourgogne, or as white Americans might say,
Bourgogne.
Cremant de Bourgogne.
Whoa, that
But
was
it's pronounced
tough.
Bourgogne. It's champagne, but it's from Burgundy instead of champagne. Same grapes, same method, much cheaper. And as part of all this pandemic bullshit, there's not a lot of champagne available in America. And what is available is extraordinarily expensive, and I'm hoarding it.
I'm hoarding it.
Like Smaug over his pile of gold in the misty mountains in Lord of the Rings.
That went a different direction.
You don't like my idea?
I've never watched a full Lord of the Rings.
So one of my ideas for this episode, and I discussed this with
Yes.
Tyler,
Oh, good.
was to have us play a D&D game.
Oh my God, no.
A surprise role-playing game. And I asked Tyler, are there any like easy to learn, real quick things?
The answer is no.
And he said yes, and he got kind of excited about it. He thought you'd have fun. He called it a one-shot. He said
Yes.
you've done some before.
Tyler, please remember when you get to this episode in a year, the one shot that we did at Christmas. Haven't we talked about that on here?
Isn't this good, though?
Yes, it's
I love
great.
bubbles.
Ugh.
I love French bubbles. They just do some things better than us.
Rest assured, we
Surrender
are not
to the Germans and sparkling wine.
we are not doing a D&D one shot on this episode. You'll be grateful for that. I have nothing else to say about D&D one shots. But what we are going to do is take a walk down memory lane.
So we thought it would be fun to do the walk down memory lane because what else are we going to do for 100 episodes? We have to acknowledge it somehow. And this has been fun for us. We appreciate all the feedback we get from you guys. And so it's been basically 2 years. We started in January of 2020.
No, it was December 29th.
December 29th,
I know.
2019.
I went all the way back to episode 1.
So we started basically 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And COVID
Happened.
was a thing that maybe was a little scary in the Wuhan fish market.
But not here yet.
And we really, it's a very different world. So we want to talk about the podcast, the people we've talked to.
Arcade Corners.
Like how we started. And really, I always loved podcasts. I've loved them for like 20 years. I just like audio things. I've loved radio. When I was a kid, I listened to Bob Uecker calling Brewers games with the windows open at night, put my clock radio on, on sleep and heard it. And I always did that. And before we had Dinner Plus Drinks, I did Reduce by Half myself. And it was a very food focused one, some interviews, some like topical things. And it went good. But I just never had enough time to do it. And it was just me. So no one kept me honest. When Bridget came on board, I wanted to redouble on the podcast because I think they're the thing of the future, which I'm being proven out on. And I thought it'd be more fun to do it with a co-host and make it more relatable and not like just me talking with like random people or me being like, hey, I found this great recipe.
Me talking at myself.
So I said, Bridget,
let's do it.
Let's do a podcast. And I really never, I think I gave you a choice. I don't think I pressured you too much.
About if I was going to do it?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, I like to hear myself talk, so,
But
I was yes.
I was like, I don't know. So why did you want to do this? What made you say, yes, Nick, that's a great idea?
Well, what I can say in this walk down memory lane is that Nick remembers everything. I have to go back and be like, I have no idea. I don't remember. So I literally went back to review things. So you'll probably remember this more than I do. I don't remember why I said yes, but I never thought no. I'm always on board for the next thing. I've done a lot of work for various people behind the scenes as, doing Instagram stories or whatever. And I always I like to be in front of the camera. So this was kind of a nice opportunity.
And you have a face for it.
But, this was, I'm not often in a position that I am in front of the camera. And so this camera figuratively, microphone, whatever, and camera if you're watching on YouTube. So yeah, I think that you provided an opportunity, and I thought it was cool that this was part of my job. I'm like, oh, yes, because you're right. Podcasting is the wave of the future, which I don't think I like really bought into in the beginning. My biggest hesitation, and to this day, it's still the same, is why do people care? Like, why would anyone want to listen to us just jabber on? And he's like, yeah, they will. And he's right. You guys do. So thank you. But that was my biggest hesitation, I think, was just like, I don't think it's going to be interesting.
It's always hard with that because there's a fine line between like being self-centered and egotistical and confident. And, you know, we do this on work hours. Mm-hmm. So like, we don't talk about Lake Geneva Country Meats a lot, but we weave some things in and out. And
like my Moose Boosh.
It is something that we do because we think it's great for Lake Geneva Country Meats to be able to say, hey, and we also do a podcast and we talk about some of the products we do, and we do it in a like not overly pushy way. And so it's,
yeah, I mean, it is marketing.
Yeah. It's a way for us to talk to people, to let people know that we're nice people. Eventually, maybe one day Oprah will have us on a show or something.
Maybe
like
we don't
Adele.
sound like nice people, but yeah, we're just like Adele.
We're just like Adele. She drinks wine too.
So that makes us all the same. Yes, it's brand building, right? We discuss this a lot because marketing isn't something everyone understands, even though I think everyone thinks it's easy because they think it is fun. Well, yes, it is fun. It is also work. So I think it's a fun way to be able to do work. So here we are. So that's why I said yes, Nick. I had no choice. You were my boss and you're mean. That's why.
We have a list of some random questions that we kind of wanted to ask each other. And one of the things you have on here is how about that cover art?
Oh, good.
So, Dinner Plus Drinks, how long did it take us to come up with a name and everything?
Well, you know, the availability is the hard part. Obviously, we wanted dinner and drinks. Not available. Very
not available. We tried to buy the domain.
From somebody.
And it was like, $7,000. Like,
$1,207,000.
We don't have that much money.
Nor do we need it.
But stay tuned. We will be giving away some money.
Sure will. Dun, dun. So,
we need to get better at teases.
Yeah, we're really bad at them. Sorry. Just listen to the end. We're doing a giveaway. But I don't remember. It takes us a long time to go through names of things, and then we always land on like, hey, this was like our first idea. Why didn't we just go with that an hour ago? So dinner and drinks, it was, if you go back and listen to the first episode like I did, or on our YouTube page, we have a little intro video talking about dinner and drinks and how like, okay, well, what are we going to talk about on this podcast? And we're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about wine. We're going to talk about our kids, news stories. Oh, those are all things we talk about like when we're hanging out with each other, eating and drinking. So that's kind of the idea of where it started.
To be clear, we both eat and drink a lot.
And talk a lot. But the cover art is really what we're here to talk about. Our friends at Gray Spot, yes, Gray Spot, we're just going to go with that, did our cover art. And I was not prepared. Okay, one, I was not prepared for the first time that we were going to be, Nick's like, oh yeah, this is going to be a video. And I'm like, what? I didn't do my hair. I didn't do my makeup.
Yeah, I just kind of did that one because we would have waited forever. It's like, oh yeah, we got it now.
Oh yeah, we're going to do it now. Your hair's wet from your shower. That's fine. Secondly,
it glistens on camera.
Was the cover art. I didn't understand the vision. So can you explain the vision for the cover art?
So the vision was, we did the logo first and we knew like it was a circle that works well in podcast cover art. We liked the font. We liked all of the things. So how do you get that? So with cover art in podcasting, you have to very quickly explain to people in a visual way what a 45-minute podcast is about.
Yep.
So we want the logo because that's like a easy, recognizable thing. And then we wanted us in it. And how can you then like communicate all of the other things happening? So I have a little bit of background in art, not in making art. I can't do it, but in like studying art, I really like art. I go to a lot of galleries. So I have like a very classical composition in mind where it's a 3-point composition and it's like a very light and very dark contrast. So it very quickly brings your attention to each point. I mean, and this is anybody that's done design, like it's not.
Yeah, no, that's not the part we didn't get.
So there's like cheese and beer and wine and we're like toasting and laughing at a table and then the logo's between it. So, Yeah, it's just, you know.
But the all black, man, that's the piece. The like black background. You compared it to a photo.
Which photo?
Not a photo. A piece of art.
Oh, yeah, it's called Charles Squirrel.
There you go.
Yeah.
And for explaining this, like, I don't know what
to
we're
Jeff.
talking about. Yeah.
Jeff had no clue.
Neither did I. Also, I'm wearing maroon pants. I didn't know we were going to be seeing our pants in the photo.
Well, I'm wearing a Lake Geneva Country Meets Polo.
Maybe we should redo this.
I'm not wearing a Lake Geneva Country Meets Polo today because I still have shingles. Thank you to everybody who reached out with concern for me about my shingles. It's doing a lot better, but I still have it, and I find not moisture-wicking clothes really help with the itchiness. So I'm wearing wool.
You have motivated my mother to make sure she gets her shingles shot.
Good.
She's like, well, I have a number of things I have to do, and I'm going to make sure that's one of them. So make sure to thank Nick.
One of the more recent times I was at the doctor, because it's been a lot recently.
So many.
I was like, oh yeah, I need my Tdap, I need my flu shot, and I need this one, please.
I need all these things.
And the nurse is like, do you want them all at once? I was like, yes. She's like, it's going to hurt. I'm like, I don't care.
I'll be sick for one day.
It'll be better. Just give me all of the microchips. I'll take them all at once. Bill Gates, take me now.
Here we go, off on a tangent. This is something that has not changed over the last 2 years. So anyway, the cover art was something that was really funny. Nick had a very clear vision. I had to put my Jesus take the wheel.
I think it works.
It is. It is funny.
All the different things. And
it's just a little behind the scenes moment of like.
Yeah, Jeff was very good.
So was I. We were unprepared. I was unprepared for it.
He was just very like, I'm like a published big time photographer, and you guys
I do better than this.
What is happening?
Thanks, Jeff.
He did a good work though.
So yeah, the cover art, that was a funny one for me. I did a thing and just like went back because I haven't
Oh my
listened.
God, there's so many things.
I know. And Nick's looking back at all my notes because Nick can just recall these things. I had to go back and be like, spur my memory. So I just kind of went down, started at episode 1 up to present day and just like switched around, listened to a few tidbits, looked at our notes from a few episodes so I could call out some of my favorite things. And like, we should talk about where we started, what life looked like then.
I mean, what a crazy different thing. So when we started, Simona was super colicky.
How old was Simona?
Simona was 2 months old.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in our condo. We had some honestly kind of very not good microphones. We had
it was real bad.
no video. We recorded in my office at work, which is not an acoustically good environment.
And it's not like, incredibly spacious.
And there was no COVID.
There was no COVID. My notes on our first episode were no cold open. We go right into the music for a long time.
We went right into it, yeah.
No COVID. Lucy was just under 7 months old, and I said, and sleeping terribly is what I acknowledged in the first episode. Elliot was 3.5, and we were talking about Christmas because Christmas had just happened on our first episode. So it kind of gave us some really good fodder, in my opinion, for that very first one.
It was a good way to start. It really was funny how crazy we thought our lives were at that time.
It is. If you want something funny, guys, go back in your phone, look at pictures, go somewhere that you've recorded some faction of your life and look at it.
Think about Valentine's Day 2020 or like Christmas 2019. I think one of the things that I enjoy about doing the podcast, we always say it's therapy, but it is like a good way to talk about and normalize some of these things that I think a lot of people are having with what's changed in the world in the last 2 years. For all but 2 of our lives, no matter how old we are, that's a fairly significant part. There's been things you can depend on. There's been patterns and seasons and ways people behave. And those have all gone out the window the last 2 years. And it's just been like this constant change. And how do you deal with that? I think the alcohol consumption numbers indicate how most people deal with that. But for us, we also started a podcast, and we weren't the only people. There was a lot of people that started podcasts as a way of doing it. A lot of them have stopped. Luckily, we've kept growing and sustaining it.
I think people felt lonely, and this felt like, remember when like vlogs were a thing?
Yep,
kind of felt like that, right? I don't know if we want to jump forward to this or not yet, but I purposely went and listened to the 2 episodes right when COVID became a thing.
It was crazy.
Are we ready to go there?
Yeah, let's go there. So because I was in Las Vegas at the end of February. We recorded our first remote episode that way.
Yeah.
I think it was episode 8 or 9 or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. I wrote the dates down.
Yeah, and I was in Las Vegas, and it was weird because, I've recommended the Daily from the New York Times, and I like to get up early.
We were talking about this on our podcast.
Yeah, and I was like walking up and down listening to the New York Times talking about like, no, this is a no shit thing. Like, you should be worried about this.
You were recording in your hotel room, and I was at my dining room table, and you were like, I don't know, before off air, you were like, I don't know, man, I think like the world, and I'm like, no, quit being so dramatic.
And I got back on my plane, and people started wiping stuff down. I'm like,
germ freaks. Just kidding, everybody.
Which we do know that was worthless. No, it probably just created MRSA, but whatever.
I will tell you, 100%, it is a tendency. I know better, but I haven't let go of that. I I put hand sanitizer in 27 different places, and I still consistently keep that routine, even though I know it's not. Anyway, so Nick was traveling. I know my mom was on a vacation, and we were like begging her to come home, but she was like on a beach trip. She wasn't paying attention to the news, and we were like, you need to get on a plane and get home now. And she's like, oh, I didn't realize how bad it was.
Oh yeah.
But
I forgot about that part. But yeah,
because I feel like multiple people in my life were traveling at the end of February. So March 8th and March 14th, those were the 2 episode releases of ours. March 8th, totally normal. We debuted what I think was our first change in theme music, and it was an Irish theme music because that was an Irish episode that we filmed, that we recorded at Fleming's in the back of the store. Remember?
Our first of 2 at Fleming's.
Our first of 2. So the sound on that episode is shit.
Total shit.
Like, I'm sorry. I don't know how you guys listened to it.
What makes me feel good when I listen back, I'm re-listening to the History of Rome podcast, which is like one of the OG great ones, made it through 800 years of Roman history. And his sound on the start is shit.
Yes, Morbid is doing the same thing.
Yep.
They're remastering all this.
And like at the start of, he did like 100 episode listener question thing. We have hundreds of listeners. He has hundreds of thousanders. So he got a lot more questions. But one of the things he started with is, and he has this very like monotone, hello, welcome to the History of Rome podcast. And he has this guitar intro that's like an Apple Music or a garage band loop. It's like, He's like, I'd like to apologize for the terrible quality of my earlier episodes and the fact that 100 episodes ago, I picked this looping guitar as my music, having no clue what I was doing. Today, we're still stuck with it, but the audio quality is better.
So he kept the music?
Yeah, because like you're 100 episodes in, it's a history thing. Like
people,
it worked.
Yeah, I guess. Sorry for that sniffle.
But yeah, so I'm sorry for our terrible audio quality.
This was my notes on it, was the sound was shit. But most notably to me, at the end of that, or somewhere in that episode, we advertised our pop-up pub. So we were going to be doing an Irish pub, and that Irish pub event is my marker for coronavirus because we kept going with that event.
Elliot's birthday.
Well, so Elliot's birthday was March 9th. March 9th.
A bowling alley with some pizza and a bar.
We had a party. Like, it was completely normal. I feel like I had heard rumblings. Like, my sister in Seattle was telling us about it. But we're like, I don't know.
Yep.
I'm having my kid's birthday party. And it wasn't a huge party, 15 people, whatever. But it was still a party. So Elliot's birthday party. And then the pop-up pub, Nick and I were like, well, it's a small group. It's still like outside for the most part in an inflatable pub. We're going to keep doing it until the day before the event.
And then it was like everything shut down.
So our next podcast episode was March 14th, world over. So that we had no music. It was a cold open about this type of episode and how it was going to not be a most normal podcast. And instead we said, you know what? We're a podcast talking about food and drink. And so we went the angle of we're going to tell you how to like stay sane and stay fed throughout this. We had a good
episode.
Yeah, like we had
that
no
one actually
clue.
got a lot of downloads too.
It was really smart. It was like cool of us, right? I had no idea. We had no idea what this was, but we just thought, well, we can deal with food. So I mentioned in the episode, I'm like, there's this term called social distancing, whatever that is. And I make fun of this new term no one understood. We said we were recording 6 feet apart, which was funny because I think we were at this table.
No, we weren't because my house wasn't built yet. We were still.
Oh, yeah, we were in the office.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, duh. So that to me, that's bonkers. That was in March.
So throughout this whole process, I was building a house. And by me, I mean people I paid were doing the work.
I mean, I was doing nothing.
And by people I paid, I mean people my wife and I collectively paid.
Good job.
So this was also when we had seen consistent very good downloads and growth. And we had decided we wanted to double down on quality. When I built the house, like I knew we'd be doing it. So we were trying to buy the microphones we have now.
Yep.
We were trying to buy the soundboard we use now. We're trying to buy the camera we use now. And this is when everybody's like, oh shit, I'm going to start a podcast. I need to do remote work. And it took forever to get all this stuff. And we're like, no, we actually been doing this for a while. It's not like a hobby.
But shit, we better get this ordered now.
And so, yeah, the like whole thing of how do we keep doing this and make it relevant and navigate the changes in life. Like it was such a crazy time.
What was hard for me, we're going to get a little later in the year and tell you the hardest thing for me, but it was really hard to not come on and just like cry. Yeah. Thanks for sticking with us. We know we got a little down in quite a few episodes, but like that's real life and that's what we would be talking about. But yeah, there was a lot of times that was really hard to be like, all right, we got to be upbeat and just like record a podcast when like we're falling apart. So that was fun. So thank you. Again, that's really when as we were looking back, like the last couple of months we've been saying like it really has just been therapy for us. And it really has stemmed from, I think, helping us get through coronavirus.
Well, and one of the things, and I think I've said this, that we got really lucky during coronavirus because we worked together. And we work in person together, that we were a bubble.
Yeah, we were a bubble.
Our most frequent guest, Shannon.
She our most frequent guest?
Yeah.
Oh, frequent. I'm thinking recent. Yes.
She's in the bubble.
Yes.
So we had people that we liked, that our kids go to school together as like a bubble, and that really got us through. And so one of the questions I want to ask you, we talk about food a lot, is we've done a lot of meals together the last year and a half, especially like during lockdown, because it's like
social interaction.
Yep. So because there's one meal I have in mind in particular, and I was wondering what was something kind of maybe is over lockdown, maybe just in general, because we've done some good parties that like has maybe stuck out to you over the last couple of years that we did. Maybe we talked about it. I'm sure we talked about it. We definitely talked about it.
We talked about it.
But like, what is there anything that stood out to you as like a particularly good
You're
fun
gonna
time?
laugh. This is not what you're expecting, I'm sure, but it is the thing I think of most notably because it's a food thing I got recognized for, and it's that dumb salad that I make in the summers.
Oh, that's a really good salad.
With the corn and the avocado. And
I love it.
I made it like for a month every week, and it's like, oh my God, Bridget, you actually made something delicious.
And it takes more work than the oyster crackers.
It's so much work, okay? It's not that much work. But that salad, I know we've talked about it on here. I don't know what it's called. I think people call it cowboy caviar when it has beans in it. Mine doesn't have beans in it, people. But we brought it over to our friend when we, Jeff, who took our photos, Jeff and Colin. Yeah. They are also friends of ours. We brought it over to their house, and you know, we were meeting their wives for the first time, and I felt I've gotta contribute something here. And I brought the salad, guys, and it was very popular. And I felt like, phew, I am an adult, and I can be part of this crowd that talks about food. So that salad, very proud of it.
My favorite memory was when Shannon drove down to Chicago.
Oh yeah, I forgot
got
about
us
that.
all the meal kits that Alinea was doing.
Oh,
and it was Shannon's kid, I think.
What's the question?
Did she have 2 children at that point?
No.
Yeah.
She hadn't had Nolan.
So just Max.
I was with her. I think I drove
and
to
then
the pickup, yeah.
Our child, my dear darling Simona.
Wait, when was that?
Had it been like April or May 2020? Because it was
Nolan was born in July 2020.
Yeah. And then Tyler, Lucy, Elliot, you. And
Lucy was a baby still.
We got a bunch of different meals. They were because like Lucy and Simona both passed out on a pack and play.
Dreamy. Sounds dreamy.
In our bedroom.
Before 7 p.m.
But it was just like so nice. We all like cooked these meals together. Yes. By we all, I mean Shannon and I.
I did not.
And we like were able to like we plated them nicely, yes. And everybody picked at them. We talked about on the Thanksgiving episode that we just dropped how you're the food picker and you think it's annoying, but it was just like so nice because like we could all do the like we're around the kitchen table picking up food. I really like that one.
The food picker. I forgot about that.
That was so much fun.
I hope you guys are having the feeling I'm having right now where you're like, oh, I forgot about that because I forgot completely. Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward a little. Like we left off in March, right? So we won't touch much on this. It was just a thing I had to mention because it was really cool in my life. We had a very historic space launch in May, the end of May, which was cool for me because Elliot cared. My kid cared. And I was like, oh, you're going to be into space. And that was fleeting, and it lasted like a month, and he was into it. But that was a pretty large current event, which was cool to have a focus on something that wasn't everybody dying.
And then
everybody died.
Black Lives Matter was obviously a thing over the summer, and I think we talked about it. We talked about our feelings on it, our support for the general movement.
Yeah.
But also like some of the, hey, let's keep this balanced. As we're recording, Kyle Rittenhouse just got acquitted of everything. And
if this was a regular episode, we would be spending a lot of time on that topic.
But we're not. But it's just like a funny, like brings it full circle of that whole summer. It just was that horrible onslaught of terrible things. But there was a space launch.
But there was, and it was this like glimmer of hope thing, right? Like traveling to outer space has always been that kind of thing. So anyway, I
didn't think things would get worse.
But then, can I skip?
That's the point of this.
Can I skip to December? So we didn't think things could get worse. But then we recorded an episode on December.
Then we had a Chris Kindle market scheduled. That was going to be a lot of work, and we had to change it all over because Nick freaked out. Nick's dad freaked out. The weather wasn't cooperating.
Don't ruin the punchline here, buddy. So December 13th, we recorded a episode remotely, and it was Sunday after our event. And quote, here's why we were recording remotely. I have been near someone with COVID, is what I said. And I sounded so sick on the episode. It's because I had COVID, you guys.
To be fair, you are near to yourself.
I am near to myself. So we recorded it on Sunday morning. And basically it was like therapy about the event, right? We were like hashing out Chris Kindle Market. And December 20th episode, we still recorded remotely, and we just said like, it's Christmas and we want to make sure no one gets sick. So we spent a lot of time like justifying to you why we were recording remotely, when really it's because I had tested positive for coronavirus and I was pretty sick for a couple days with it.
It was hilarious because you were really sick and you were like trying to soldier through it and underplay it. And the reason we weren't totally forthright about it was because of the very public positions we have and our family has. Is at that time of the year, we would have had to screw a lot of people's lives.
Yeah. And I did what I needed to do.
We all got tested. Everybody else was negative.
Miraculously, Nick didn't get it.
I thought I was going to have it.
I can walk you through the week, and I knew I was this far away from him with a mask on, and like 3 hours later, I lost my taste. So it really, for me, went from I just have a cold to holy shit, I can't taste or smell anything. I have COVID. So my whole family stayed together for 12, because it's very unclear. Everyone has a different opinion. 10, 12, 14 days, depending when you're tested, when your symptoms start. So we stayed in a bubble at our house. We did nothing for, I don't know.
That was at the edge of if you're like a dirty, unclean person, red scarlet letter type of deal.
So it was really hard. It was hard. We didn't know when to like say anything to you guys. And then I think I tried to find the episode where we like mentioned it. And I think we just like worked it into like, oh yeah, around Christmas I had COVID.
And yeah, it was just it would have, it's hard because
people would have given us shit.
We would have had to close some things that would have affected a lot of people's lives in really negative ways beyond ourselves. And we chose instead to not say anything and separate ourselves and do all the testing and make sure all that stuff was done correctly and not impact other people's lives. Yeah. I think we now know that was the correct decision, regardless of whether we had COVID or not, because now we know life goes on.
Well, and to be clear, I don't work in the office full time, so I didn't affect other people in the office. That, Nick and I puzzled through this together. But yeah, it's mentally a very challenging thing because people treat you like you have an STD. I've never had an STD, but I assume that's what they treat you like. Like, hey, I've got herpes, guys. Well, go get tested.
Like when I had the shingles, still have the shingles, and I had to go get some Valtrex.
Valtrex.
Which is an antiviral, which is usually used to clear up the herp. That's how the pharmacist, she's like, oh, so you have Valtrex, it's new drug for you. It's antiviral, clean up your, like, I have shingles.
It's not herpes.
And she's like, that's what they all say.
Yeah. So that was a fun moment in time.
That was crazy, Bridget.
Oof, I know. I listened back and I'm like, God, you guys must have known. I was talking like this, and I was laughing. I was very upbeat because by the time we recorded at that time, because the day that we would have recorded was like the worst, the day I was probably the most sick feeling.
Well, and you pulled this ridiculous move that my mother pulls a lot. You slow rolled the event.
I did.
And
I got called out by like 10 people.
You slow rolled it because your windows are a little tinted. You had like sunglasses on and you had like a oversized coat, like the fur parka hat, and you just like slightly rolled down your window. Like you looked like a Russian old lady.
When you are quarantined in a bubble for 10, 12, 14 days, driving alone in your car is like a dream. You're just like, I'm outside.
I see you and I'm judging you. I'm like, God, Bridget, go away.
Yeah, I did get called out. I was not sneaky at all. Okay, so that happened. Then the year changed, thank God.
Thank God. And COVID was over.
Yeah, we thought everything was going to be better.
We got to the new year. COVID was over. There was a presidential election.
Oh, yeah, that happened. We did an inauguration episode.
We helped stop the steal. Oh, wait.
I did our New Year episode. It's really shitty again.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
And I'm just...
Oh, I do know what happened.
I don't.
So we record audio and video separately. We record audio on our audio board. That is a very nice thing. And we record video on my computer, which sometimes that's why the video doesn't show up because things don't save right. If the audio, so we also record the audio through the camera as like a backup and a way to sync everything.
Yes.
So if something happens, we have backups. That's why.
Good thing. So we had backup.
But the camera microphone isn't as good.
The only thing I need to tell you about this episode is that I asked you if we could get rid of dad jokes in this episode.
No.
And we were like, Just got it. That was a really important note about the episode. In January 3rd, 2021, Nick, are we getting rid of dad jokes? Can we get rid of those yet?
Nope.
Great. I just thought that we needed to mark that moment in history.
And another thing I kind of want to throw in here as we're talking about some of the behind the scenes stuff is if any of you are interested in starting a podcast, we'd love to talk to you. We can talk through the equipment we use, because that's always like a really challenging thing. And if you look at all the how to podcast post, it always starts with what microphone to buy.
Yeah.
A little bit of it's that's kind of like if you buy good golf clubs, you'll be good at golf. Well, no, if you have a good golf swing, you'll be good at golf. But we're always happy to talk through that, suggestions on our setup is because we're established and had some money, but we can also give you suggestions on more budget friendly setups.
Or
it's not this is super expensive.
A lot of people do Patreon so they can upgrade their equipment as they go, or editing software. It's great to edit a podcast. I think it's really enjoyable. So, okay, should I pop back in? Do you want to pop in with a question, or shall I just keep going down memory lane?
So we talked about trying to axe the dad jokes, but
shoot.
Do you think Reddit will ever appeal to you?
Okay. I studied long and hard on this question because I am trying. I like the content that Reddit has, okay? I like it.
It's hot and fresh out the kitchen content.
I like some of it.
Oh, that's another thing different 2 years ago. R. Kelly wasn't a convicted rapist of children.
Oh, breaking news.
Nobody knew that, you can't use his song references anymore.
Bummer. But we
he's
do
evidently,
it anyway.
now we know he's a terrible person. We didn't know that 2 years ago.
I am popping on Reddit while we were talking about R. Kelly because, again, what? It's just so... Okay, on a desktop, it does give me communities near me, which is interesting. I'm not sure why I want coronavirus.
Oh, look at the
Illinois.
Reddit for Milwaukee. What does it have?
Yes, the flag, the people's flag. So, okay. I can say...
414, Bruce City, baby.
Reddit, its look will never appeal to me. Will I appreciate our Reddit discussions and the things Tyler texts me from Reddit? Yes. I like its content. I do not like its visual appeal. Never will I like its visual appeal because it's
What
ugly.
do you think of the wine I poured for you today?
What? I think it's delicious. Well, I feel nervous.
No, I'm just curious.
We did discover there was a notable note in one of our podcast show notes. we found a white wine Bridget likes.
It was very exciting. I think it was like extraordinarily expensive Chardonnay.
Probably, but I took note of that.
Well, I mean, you do drink white wine in summer. It's just not in...
I think I'm going to bring some to Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because again, all my family lets me do is bring wine.
So I got one more question before we hit the timeline again.
Okay.
Have any of the products I've recommended been useful to you?
Oh, man, I didn't look back at products well, but yeah.
So obviously they haven't.
I'm sure they have.
Like Assassin's Creed, was that been useful to you?
Definitely, yeah. I definitely use that all the time. I know that we recommended, of course, today, I don't have it down here, Yeti tumblers, but I think that was a me recommendation for myself. I don't remember, man.
The Nugget has changed my life.
You're welcome.
I just ordered a second Nug.
I entered the lottery for you.
Oh my gosh, everybody, if you want to say thank you to Nick for all the work I've put in personally for delivering all these episodes to you,
You're
what
welcome.
you can do is go to the Nugget, their website. They're
NuggetComfort.com.
giving away an Elmo Nugget. We're not giving away. They have a lottery for the opportunity to buy one. Simona loves Elmo. I would love to get her an Elmo Nugget.
Because everyone needs 3 nuggets.
We'd cancel one of them. So if you want to go, enter... And if you win, let me buy it.
I have multiple email addresses.
That would be awesome. They say, like, please be respectful as a community.
Do you think anyone's doing that?
I don't think anybody's doing that. I don't think they really care. I think they know that people want the product. I think they know people want... Well, of course I'm going to try and cheat the system for my kid.
Whoa.
Who do I look like? Lori Loughlin? I'm not, like, buying her way into Harvard, but let's be real. If I had spare millions of dollars and I could say like, oh, you really want to go to this place? Sure, I'll buy your way in.
Okay, just because I
don't think that's a bad thing for a parent.
Because we're very clearly talking about buying our children's love. Can you think, and I'm not yet to the timeline, sorry, but can you think of a favorite kid corner?
Let's wait for the end. We always do a kid corner at the end.
Fine. I've had one in my mind the whole time.
I have one in my mind too.
Okay. Great. We'll wait till the end.
It's for like sentimental reasons.
Oh, yeah? Yep. Mine's not. Mine's because we'll talk about it later. Okay. So we're in January 17th, okay? This was new music again.
New music.
So we did the inauguration episode. We probably got some illegal music going on. No, I think you were very careful about making sure we were.
I was extraordinarily careful. So one of the things I did go to law school for a year, hated it, quit. I'm not a lawyer. I'm sorry, I voluntarily withdrew. But like I do have a healthy respect for the law and I have a healthy respect for copyright. I've had my photography ripped off by people. It happens somewhat frequently and it's annoying as shit.
Annoying as shit.
And so I'm very careful about copyright.
Yeah,
I respect it, and I want to do the right thing because people should get paid.
For their work.
Anyway.
Great. So...
I was very, very careful about it. And Bridget's like, I'll use this. I'm like, no, Bridget.
Oh, we can't do that, girl.
Can't do that.
We did an inauguration celebration. We opened up a pop-up shop or two with Lake Geneva Country Meats, but we talked about them on here. Then we got to March 14th. So we... for some reason, thought it would be a really good idea to bring Lucy and Simona on the video so you could see them.
They were here playing or something.
It was a bad idea. At least, Simona was calm and nice and stayed in Nick's arms. Lucy had a freaking rattle. Like, she had a cell phone rattle that, I don't know, they were here playing, obviously. And we're like, yeah, come in. And Lucy just, like, is a couple months older, enough months older than Simona that, like, there was that vast difference where Simona would just, like, calmly sit. Lucy was kind of staring but wouldn't say hello when I'd say hello. But she'd wiggle out of my arms and try and fuck around with the soundboard. I'm like, oh, no. So... we thought that would be a really good idea. And in my opinion, it wasn't. So sorry about that.
I thought it was.
We very abruptly were like, okay, this episode's over, bye.
One of the things, we've done a lot of special episodes. We've had some cool guests. Probably my favorite episode, I was trying to think of favorite episodes, and maybe we'll talk about this later. I know you had this on the list, but in this time frame, we did some pop-ups at Fleming's. We did the Winterfest stuff. And we wanted to permanently occupy the space.
We did. Politics turned us off a little bit.
So we had the space rented, and we had some events that
We had everything properly permitted by the city clerk.
They just went out of their way to deny us. And I'm not bitter. But we still wanted to do one thing in the space. And Kevin and Maureen, his wife, are good friends of ours. They are the nicest, kindest people in the world.
I love them.
The stuff they've done for the city of Lake Geneva, for people like us, is incredible. And so we got to do one last episode with Kevin in the space where we had the whole podcast set up. We put a video facing the street. We put cameras on us. We cracked a couple Guinnesses. He loves Guinness. He got us some of the very nice Guinness glasses.
Yep.
Gave us, and
that was Winterfest weekend?
It was Winterfest weekend.
Was
it?
Okay.
Because it was during Cocoa Crawl. Because we had the brat shop set up, and we're like, there is no way we're dealing with this thing. So instead, we sat and drank and laughed at the people who were like, why are we on camera?
It was so fun.
So that's like one of my favorite memories. Kevin was he gives me hope that someday when I'm retired, maybe I'll be happy too.
Yeah, he's living it up in
that
retirement.
Was an incredible episode.
We have a handful of like kind of special episodes, and I know I didn't hit them all, but where did I go? I lost
Brittany
my notes.
Flying in.
Oh, yeah, Brittany was here on an episode.
Thank you to all of our Washington listeners, because like you've stayed strong with us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
We like to talk about Brittany and the world saving she's doing.
Much like us.
I have a sister. We don't talk about her very much, but I also have a sister. She probably won't be on, but maybe someday.
Abby. We'll have Abby on one of these days.
Sarah's been on. Tyler's been on.
Shannon's been on. We'll have to expand our guest pool outside of our family.
We should get my dad to be on.
Yes, Scott.
No.
Father's Day episode.
We should get Sean. Sean will say some
nervous laughter. So we did that special episode, Winterfest, the live streams with Kevin Fleming. We did some Olympics episodes.
The Olympics ones were very fun.
We did an Easter's from around the world.
I did like the remote we did from your remote training situation for the Olympic episode.
Oh, yeah.
Where you guys were clearly drunk at 9 a.m. trying to figure out like a remote connection.
We were on
in the middle of the North Woods in Wisconsin.
I don't take a lot of vacations where I'm like unplugged, but we went on a girls' trip and like I was unplugged on accident in that the internet was very non-existent. We were literally at a cabin at like the end of a peninsula. It was amazing. But we're like, well, we got to get this episode. But yeah, we had mimosas for breakfast.
Yeah.
What?
Note, she said mimosas, not a mimosa. And Bridget is nothing if not grammatically correct.
That's right. So, okay, we have one special episode that we have not mentioned because it is my favorite, / it makes me want to throw up. Oh, good. The Kit Kat tasting episode, everybody.
It was a box of about 60 Kit Kats. That's how full it is still.
Because they were repulsive. Like, there isn't one that we would eat again. I thought, this started because we kept finding, like, for news stories, we're like, whoa, look at this new Kit Kat flavor.
There's so many good ones.
And then it never ended. I was like, oh, there's hundreds of Kit Kat flavors. So I thought the tasting episode was going to be like, we're trying a mint one and a peanut butter one. Oh, no. It was like
dark matcha with crap.
Beans and rice Kit Kat. Or like whatever weird flavor. So that episode was hilarious. And you've probably never heard more gagging in a microphone as you did on that episode.
That was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
So anyway, those were some of our special episodes that I thought would be great. We launched a couple special things. I don't have this in a timeline anymore.
I think we're done with. I think we've basically caught up to now, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically
we talked about the Olympics things.
We launched Pinkies Up somewhere in here.
So this is where we're going to take a quick pause, and we'll be right back.
Nick has surprises in store. We're back.
Really, we had to take a break just because I needed you to sing on this episode.
I know.
You talked about Pinkies Up, and I do want to say one of the things I actually really enjoy, you launched a crazy good amuse-bouche this week where you talked about styling and how you enjoyed doing the brat styling. I think everybody should listen to that.
It's really funny.
One of the things I do really enjoy is finding people that like to drink wine and not to get drunk, but because they like the experience of wine and helping them find things that are new, different. And you're like a joy to work with as a customer.
A joy.
An absolute joy. Where
do you hear that, everybody?
because like you do know what you like, which if someone doesn't know what they like, you're like, for fuck's sake, like, can
Where
you
do I
just tell me
start?
like what do you usually drink and if that's a yay or nay? And people are like, well, I don't know, I just drink whatever. I'm like, okay, you're a lost cause. But so you know what you like, so it's a good base to start. And you're always like, you underplay yourself at this, but you are a good descriptor of things. You might not use like the language that people use, but that's okay. Like you still can describe like, I don't like the icky thing when this happens.
My mouthfeel tastes like this.
And it's like, okay, I got that. So it's really fun for me and a great challenge to find things that you like, because you have like a lane and it's
Get
a like
out of it.
well-defined lane and you're consistent about it. So it's like, okay, can we like widen this lane? It's like when I-94 goes from, 4 lanes to 4 lanes, but they're 6 inches wider and it's going to take 3 years and $400 billion. Thanks, DOT.
Cool.
So it's been fun to do that. Pinky's Up has been fun to try all these fun different things, do challenges with you. But Bridget, I have found the perfect bottle of wine for you. I've literally found the perfect bottle of wine. I think it checks all of the boxes. So you need to finish what's in your glass right now. No.
Okay.
I have found literally the perfect bottle of wine.
Nick said he had a surprise, and I thought it was just like these bubbles. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. I almost knocked our soundboard off at 100 episodes.
It is 19 Crimes Cali Red. Okay, so let me tell you why.
I've heard about this, yeah.
First, it's cheap. It's like $12. We know Bridget is...
Perfect. Thrifty. Not cheap.
Thrifty. Second of all, it's from California, and it's red. Bridget just loves California
Is it
reds.
from the mountains?
No, it's not mountain fruit. This is crap. This is valley fruit. It's crap. It's a red blend. It's just like bold and rich. Bridget likes bold and rich. But most importantly...
That's right,
everybody. It has Snoop Dogg on the front label, and Bridget is gangster.
Bridget loves to rap some songs. We don't talk about that as much as we should on here, because I feel like I could offend people.
So, 19 Crimes, crap wine brand, usually from Australia.
Probably going to be terrible, isn't it?
I mean...
I would say it's probably just going to be fine.
Yeah, it's going to be just fine.
But it's got Snoop Dogg.
It's got Snoop Dogg on it.
Does Snoop Dogg make wine?
No, Snoop Dogg does not make the wine.
Does Snoop Dogg have a vineyard?
Makes money from it. And what they're going to do next, they're going to do a Martha Stewart Chardonnay.
I have seen that.
Martha and Snoop are...
Listen, that's genius, okay?
Look at me. Oh, my God.
Why are you smelling it? Zach Brown's
the ZL. Yeah, it's good.
I like that.
It's honestly the best. So Dave Matthews makes okay wine.
Yeah, Dreaming Tree. I used to like that when I was like getting into wine. I feel like I just chugged bubbles, guys. I gotta chug my solo cup water over here.
But the Z. Alexander Brown stuff's good.
Yes. So maybe Snoop Dogg wine is good. Thanks, man. How thoughtful of you. Oh, it stinks.
This is juice.
Why does it smell so bad?
It's a bunch of Petite Syrah, that's why.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's not good.
Ugh. No, Nick.
It needs Sprite in it.
Oh, my God. Yeah, make it a sangria.
It needs to be a sangria. Oh, my God, that's worse.
Real
People
bad.
will like this. People will, if you like juicy, jammy, bold red wines with enough alcohol in it to sanitize your mouth. It says it's 14.1. I guarantee you it's not 14.1.
Is it really?
So you can
like a
flex
headache
a
in a
0.5%. And as long as you're under 15, they're not going to. So, this is not great.
It's not good.
Damn it, I failed again. And how many episodes of Pinkies Up have I failed? A number of them.
That's because you gave me a red blend, Nick. That's the mistake.
Now you're just into the Cabernets.
With too much Syrah.
Petite Syrah.
Petite Syrah, you're right. Sorry, mistake.
So,
well, good job.
We also did the Wine 201 podcast. If you haven't listened to that, or follow that social media. There were some shots fired at Bridget on the Wine 201 social media yesterday.
And I got too busy today, but I need to do shots fired back.
I'm really proud of that one. We talked about how I started with Reduced by Half, and I always wanted to do kind of an educational type of podcast series thing, but that's fun and not douchey.
But yes, exactly. So I'm here to keep Nick not douchey.
We did it.
I think so. I don't know. Did we?
Yeah, we did it. We're doing really well with that.
Yeah, we're trying we joke around a lot, obviously, about this, but really... I used to drink 19 Crimes wine when I started. I was like, I don't know, red blend.
Oh, I meant to pour it in this red Solo cup, so I didn't.
That would be better. We used to.
Here's one just to get rid of this. This is not.
Maybe Tyler will like this.
It's not worth the ABV.
So we joke
But
around.
19 Crimes, we'd really appreciate a sample bottle sent our way because we opened one and talked about it on the podcast.
Thanks. So we talk about this a lot, but what we actually like, I have really the reason I know exactly where my lane is with wine is because Nick actually listens and is very good at being like, this is exactly the wine you will like. And so I blame you that I can't enjoy any wine except the exact mountain fruit California Cabernet. But we wanted to figure out a way to like let people have that experience virtually without being like, this tannin is, I don't know, whatever, without sounding douchey, but still dropping some knowledge in a like fun way.
And we got some awesome interviews.
Yeah, I'm like, Nick, do you know these people? We're just like cold calling. I know some of them, but some of them were just like cold calling. And they were like so gracious that we did. And we had so much fun. We recorded a couple of them at like 7 a.m.
Our friend Andy, I was talking to him today. He was just out in Napa. And he described it as a lot like Milwaukee because everyone knows everyone. You go into a restaurant with someone and you're going to know 3 people that they're going to want to know. And they're going to know 3 people that and eventually you all end up at the same table.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the wine industry is like if you know enough people, if you've been in this long enough and you're not a D-bag, you'll know enough people that are also not D-bags and you'll always want to introduce each other to help each other or make a connection. So you can get some good connections that way. But yeah, I was really proud of that.
Yeah. So we're, we've been branching out on different episodes, or I'm sorry, different podcast areas, segments, different seasons, different shows. And the last one we have done is, Wine 201 is the most recent, but I do what's called a amuse-bouche. And it's meant to just be like a little tidbit of me before dinner plus drinks. So it's just me. It's just like 10 to 15 minutes every Friday morning. And it was born from the idea of like joking around that I could never make a decision, which is true.
It's true.
I'd have like 900 product recommendations, 4 articles, 10, on our outline, I'd have like this or this or this. And Nick's like, maybe just like put it on your own podcast. So we just do a weekly quick little tidbit. And it's really hard for me, honestly. I love it. But it's really hard for me because every week I'm like, why would anyone care? So I think what I need to do is just like record it at 11 at night because that's what I did this week and it was great.
We were texting at like 10 o'clock last night about work stuff, making fun of people that are like, we ain't wet my boundaries.
Work-life balance.
And Bridget's like,
I said, we're very bad at that. As we're like texting, I'm recording a podcast at 11 p.m. This cork has Snoop Dogg on it. It's the only reason to buy this.
It's also why it's $12, not $10.
I will take it. So anyway, those are all born from dinner plus drinks. So yay.
I got one more question for you, and then I think you got some good ones, and then I think we can get to some of the kid corner. Is your house ever going to be done? I've said I managed to have a kid that slept. Sarah's the one that did it. Oh. Credit to you, Sarah. We built a house. We literally broke ground on December 30th. So literally
2019. Okay.
In the space of time of this podcast, I have built a house from nothing.
That's funny.
And again, by me.
You broke ground. Oh yeah, and it was ready to move in by May, right?
Yep, in the middle of the pandemic.
Great.
Burrow couches, still recommend them. 2 years later, really do recommend them.
Oh, we were just discussing couches for my imaginary house to be done.
Guys, we went to a brewery for an event we're planning, and
I asked them where I could get their couches.
She literally picked up the couches.
The
cushions and couldn't find the tag. I'm like, Bridget, do you want me to like pick up the couch? And you seriously considered it.
Yeah, I was like,
because you looked around of like, are they going to look at us weird if we start picking up the couches?
If the staff didn't know where the couch was from, then yes. But luckily the owner was there and he knew where the couch was from. Okay, it was from CB2. Anyway, yes, my house will be done. April 22nd, 2020 is when the discussion of my house getting an addition and or renovation started. And here we are, November 19th, 2021, and we have not broken down one wall or dug a hole or done anything.
But it's going to start
soon. We do have a budget.
And I think it's going to be a great recurring segment.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe it'll be my 11th
maybe we could do
Instagram
cribs.
page.
Maybe we could do a crib special episode.
We're going to start recording from the construction zone. Will that be annoying?
yo, Bridget here, welcome to my cribs. And then, do the things and like hire like strippers and like tigers to be in there and make it look good.
I'm going to have a tiger live in my house.
And then at the end be like, all right, yo, you got to get out and do like a fake punch the cameraman.
Yeah, that's great. That's going to be a amuse-bouche every week for the next 8 years while my house is getting renovated. We were supposed to break ground at the end of November. I would say that's a week away, and I don't know anything about that. So I got to think that's not happening.
Maybe what we could do is we have sophisticated audio-visual equipment. Maybe you could get a shovel, I could record you, and you could start digging, and we could send it to your contractor and say,
we're breaking ground today.
I didn't have permits. Is that a problem? You should probably go get them to cover me.
I'm just digging a garden. Yeah, so when my house does get started, it's going to be groundbreaking, literally. So, okay, we can't talk about kids yet because, holy cow, we've got some things to say. But we were talking about all of the different podcasts that, the offshoots of this, if you will. Do you have just like 100 ideas for other podcasts too?
Yeah. I mean, we have one we want to do. And
I have bought the domain for one that I want to do outside of
you should do that one. Is it the one I'm thinking of?
There's two I want to do. I don't know. Is it about like confessions?
Oh, that one's good. Like Post Secret. You want to do like Post Secret? Yeah.
I already have the name
for it. I have a friend that had one in Post Secret that was like very personal, and it was like
they're all very personal.
And I saw it and I was like, friend, was this you? Because like I knew about it, and I was like,
yeah.
They're like, he's like, yeah, it's me. I'm like, oh, buddy.
The idea for that was born from Dinner Plus Drinks, from it being like a therapy session. So maybe one day. But also, like, I would really love to do a podcast somehow that's interesting about thrifting.
I think you could do it.
There's a lot of them out there, and they're not terribly interesting, but somehow I could do it.
Because you could do like Antiques Roadshow almost.
Yeah, but I don't care about it being an antique.
No, I know, but like that type of concept of...
Yeah, bring me your thrifted
because you're great
finds.
at judging.
Because you're very judgmental. You'd be good. Okay, guys, so we'll see. Maybe there'll be more podcasts to come. Sorry. I debated asking this question or not because I was like, we can't give away our secrets.
It's a good one.
Okay. We changed our outlines as of recent. Yes, there are still dad jokes occasionally. Sorry about that.
I'm not.
He's still a dad.
Last I checked.
What we used to do, like now it's like a rotating segment. We talk about Reddit. I like the rotating segment idea. I do not like the spontaneity because your girl likes to plan. But
this episode was hard.
Yes.
One of the things I really do enjoy, and we talk about sometimes, is like we're about like 85% similar in workflow.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit more spontaneous.
Yes.
Or I shouldn't say that. I'm a little bit more okay with chaos.
Yes.
And at the same time, I'm more of a like hierarchical thinker.
Yes.
You're less okay with chaos and more of a like
chaotic
free thinking process.
So what we mean is like my files, I just prefer to like search them. Like I have a dream.
Everything gets dumped into one thing. If we're like planning, you do a word chart.
Yes. And I would love it all to be organized in files, but like just not where I'm
Nick has a million folders and does everything in like outlines or like very clear flow charts.
And you have to click 900 folders to get to the thing you want instead of just typing it in a search bar and having it show up. This is our difference here, okay?
You would think Bridget would be the one to be like, yeah, let's show up and talk about this. And I'd be like, no. Like when we get to recording, I'm like, yeah, let's just do it. We got it.
I'm like, no, I need to know what's happening. So yeah, okay. I'm stressed about it. So we used to do interesting questions with Bridget and Nick. Do you remember? Nick would go,
Interesting questions with Bridget and Nick.
But did we ever have
we got some feedback that people didn't think you were that interesting.
Well, that's fair. I'm not.
That's
I like a plan.
People are very interested in you, Bridget.
I'm wearing a celebratory neon yellow sweater today. I was, if I had sequins in my regular hanging closet, I would have worn that. But
I'm wearing the dad uniform.
The Patagucci quarter zip. Which every day bothers me that there's a zipper next to the quarter
I like it because like when you're doing work, it's actually really simple to put stuff in here.
But it's so aesthetically unpleasing.
I think that's purposeful.
Did we have a Would You Rather segment regularly?
We did, yeah.
I miss that.
We'll do some.
Because Would You Rather questions are hard.
Because you have to make a choice.
Yes.
Which is terribly difficult for you.
This wasn't really a question. This was more of like, I miss the Would You Rathers. And if we needed to spend more time on this episode, which we don't, I would have thrown some in, but I won't. So stay tuned to Dinner Plus Drinks for that. All right. We're going to wrap up towards Kid Corner soon, but I've got two big picture questions for us, Nick.
Okay.
What do you think has been our biggest improvement on this podcast? Us as a whole or you individually on the podcast?
That's a great question, Bridget.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, it's easy to say the audio quality because the audio quality has improved tremendously. I think what we've gotten better at is doing, because we vibe off of each other like pretty easily, and our discussions can really easily go all over the map. Or we have meetings frequently, and they go one of two ways, which is just like free form, and we get a million things done, but they're not what we planned on getting done.
Right.
Or we have this incredibly structured, like militantly, we are going to get these 20 things done.
20 things, guys. That's what
and
we
like
do.
we just like bam, bam, bam. And I think at the beginning, the way we did the outlines and the way we did the episodes was a little too much on the just like bam, 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 bam. We have to hit this. We have to hit this. We have to hit this. So I think we've done a good job of bringing some balance to the vibe, and like, I'll just talk about some random shit.
I'll pull him back and say, hey.
And like rotating the segments a little bit, like having things that people like, that people have said, hey, I like when you talk about this, not forcing things, and just making it more of that natural conversation, which we see each other a lot.
A lot.
It still feels,
we're hanging out on the weekends.
It still feels like an hour every week that I actually really look forward to having the time with you and like talking to you and just like decompressing and being with my friend Bridget.
Yeah.
So I think we've done a good job of making it interesting and listenable for people and relatable. You always say like, why do people listen? I think it's because we talk about things that a lot of people have, and we're not shy. Neither one of us is shy.
What?
So I think we're both like fairly comfortable saying like, I feel this.
Yeah.
Like I'm mad at Charlene Klein. I'm comfortable saying that. So I think we've done a good job of like hitting that balance and bringing our friendship to a medium that can be hard to communicate, but like make it our friendship fun and something other people can relate to and be a part of and find some joy in that. So I think we've really gotten better at that. And I think that's what we've done a better job of.
I think I don't remember when we started, the last month or couple months, where we've like loosened up the outline. Like we started the cold open. We've, so we do a different beginning. It's a little less structured. We rotate segments. So it's taken me a long time to be like, okay, we can veer away from this structure a little.
So funny behind the scenes things we've gotten better at. I got mad at you at the start because you never gave me enough time for the out on the video, but you said, no, I should like take my headphones off because it's a good out, which it is. So and I actually look forward to it every time. This is where I spend too much time on the editing. I spend too much time making sure I get you taking your headphones off at the like video transition. It's really like a fun like, Nick, you were wrong. Bridget was right moment to remind myself. And I've gotten better at timing the cold opens at a point where you're like,
caught off guard. Yes,
he saying?
I hate it. I hate the cold open.
I've like nailed that. I'm very proud of myself. I have caught some great facial expressions.
My palms are sweating. That's how much I hate the cold open.
So what do you think? What's our biggest improvement?
Mine's selfish. Sorry.
It's okay to be selfish.
Mine is a thing. So I said in the beginning, I was joking. I was jovially talking, but I was serious. I like to be on camera, but I do what's called the phone voice. You know, when you pick up the phone, like, this is Bridget. How can I help you? And I feel like for a long time I was doing that on the podcast. I was like, it was me, and I was trying to be real, but I was like, I don't know. I was a little still like nervous about it, or feeling judged or whatever. So I've worked to not like I've listened back, and honestly, I think Amuse-Bouche has really helped that, because I do it on Amuse-Bouche. In the beginning, you listen, it's only like, I think 18 episodes, but you listen back to the beginning of that, and it's super fake. And then every week I try and like, hey, Bridget, you're just like sitting in your office talking to a wall. So quit.
Maybe you should put a picture. Oh, the Prince Philip episode. Put a picture of like Queen Elizabeth up, and you're talking to the Queen, just like, what up?
I will. What up, Queenie?
Snoop Dogg.
It's, someone was telling me.
Take the label off this bottle of
just
wine.
Like stick it in my office. In a different life, someone was telling me, I was being really like sarcastic and funny about something. And she was like, see, if you had your own Instagram page, you'd be doing things like this. And I'm like, yeah, girl, I would. So I was telling Nick about this and he's like, yes, that's what a Moose Boost should be. So I'm trying to like just be the regular Bridget that like raps to ridiculous songs in that on air. So it's a very long process and obviously a very personal process. So I've worked on that over the 100 episodes and the 18 of Moose Boosh episodes, and I'm going to keep doing it.
It reminds me of another special guest, Mike Mason. We did the seltzer tasting.
Oh my God.
Radio voice Mike Mason. He does a good job of not having, he's got a good voice for radio, but he makes it relatable and not the like, Sunday. That was a fun one too. We did the hard seltzer taste off and the not alcoholic seltzer taste off. There were some bad ones.
Oh, the seltzer taste off has lived in infamy, man. Oh, okay. Okay, Nick, do you have any great goals? What is your biggest goal or greatest goal for the podcast?
So, more listeners, honestly. We know we could do some more growth things. We spend a lot of time on this. It's a lot of fun. And we're in, I think we've talked about this, we're in the top 10% of podcast listenership. But the difference between the top 10% and the top 5% is striking.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get there. And it's not because like I don't value what we have or I think it's a waste of time. It's because I'm a deeply competitive person.
Deeply.
Oh, shut up. You are too.
I'm just kidding.
And I just always would love to get that more. I'm in a lot of like podcast groups and I listen to a lot of podcasts for podcasters, just for like professional development and stuff. And I think it's interesting. And there's so many people that are like, I get 20 listeners every week. How can I monetize this? And people are like, well, here's the things you could do. I'm like, we're
Past
orders
that.
of magnitude higher than you. And, you know, we've charted, which is a big deal. And that's, I don't think why we're in it.
No,
we're not in it.
I
for
barely
like,
look at the numbers, to be honest.
Can we put, a Tide ad? Everything's a Tide commercial. You know, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I spilled pizza on my sweater before we recorded, actually.
But I just want to do it for like, I think it's fun. And I think if we could hit that threshold, it's like 750 listeners a week, which is a huge goal. But I think, and that just is, you know, people recommending is usually the best way for podcasts to grow. Us putting ourselves out in front of people, which we do. There's some things we could do better on that. And that would be kind of my goal, is just to keep growing the listenership. And, you know, we've talked about guests, having some more fun guests, and just keeping the fun going, because it really is something I look forward to every week. So I guess that's 3 goals.
Guess, that's fair, but you didn't hit my goal, so that's cool. So look at all the goals we have. I want more engagement from our listeners.
That's a good one.
I thought about this in the shower this morning, like where all my best work happens.
Have you put up the notepad yet?
Brittany got me one year for Christmas, like it's called Field Notes, and it's like waterproof paper essentially. So like when you're out in nature doing things, and you can write on it with a pencil. So I had that, but anyway, I need to update it. But I was thinking how like I always listen to podcasts when I'm driving distances, or like maybe when I'm doing the dishes, not when I have my computer handy to send an email. So to make it easier for you guys to engage with us, how we can do that. I know we tried the voicemail, like the talk
Ron,
to voicemail.
thank you very much. Ron, I think you're still the only one.
Thanks, Ron. I want to think of ways that you guys we can make
how
it
could
easier.
we forget we did the wedding game episode.
Oh, the newlywed
and we
game.
got everybody to send in voicemails. That was a lot of fun.
Shoot, that was good. Gosh, you guys, we've done some fun stuff. So I would like to figure out a way to make it easier for you guys to engage with us, because we love to hear from you. So like when we ask for recommendations and things, we're not just saying that it would be great to hear from you, but I get like, I'm not going to pull out my phone and email a podcast while I'm in the middle of driving. So we'll work on that. But that was just, a little goal of mine that I thought of.
I like that one.
Thanks, man. We'll work on it.
We're going to, we got one bit of business, then we got Kid Corner.
That's right. You want to do this business first right here?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, guys. You stuck with us this long. You deserve a treat. And because we love to be grateful, thankful, blessed.
Hashtag thankful, hashtag grateful, hashtag blessed. You know us. We see some sort of kitschy decor shit that says hashtag thankful, hashtag grateful, hashtag blessed.
It's best if it has all three. Okay. So we are recording the week of Thanksgiving. This will release on Sunday, and coming up, you'll hopefully get to be spending time with family or friends, however you choose,
or not,
if that's what you prefer. Be thankful for that. But our 100th episode is falling this week of Thanksgiving. So all jokes aside, we are incredibly thankful for you.
We're very thankful for you.
And grateful.
We might do this if we were getting 15 listens a week, but we probably wouldn't.
Maybe, but maybe not. So we wanted to give you guys something as a thank you. Woo-woo! So we are going to give away 2, not 1, but 2.
2 chances.
Gift cards to Etsy, because we try to shop local and small as much as possible. So if you can go on Etsy, you can search by location. So if you want to shop locally, you can. Either way, you're shopping small on Etsy. So we're giving away 2 $25 gift cards to Etsy if you comment on a social media post of ours. What's that post going to be? A picture of us by this shiny 100 balloon.
And you know what? I'm going to one-up this.
What?
We're going to do
this was not scripted.
A $25 gift card on Instagram, a $25 gift card on Facebook to Etsy. But we're also going to send a candle to, we're going to do one from Haverly and Company, our friend Emily, and one from the Candle Mercantile, the Oktoberfest one.
Dang!
We did a Winterfest one where we interviewed people. But there's 4 chances to win.
Okay, that was not scripted, everybody. And I'm
Actually,
sweating.
no, let's do it. Let's just do, there's still 2 chances, one on Instagram, one on Facebook. you get the 25 gift card and the candle.
Okay.
Yep.
So
we can send you the candle easily enough.
Candle Mercantile and Haverly are both local small shops, small businesses. We know
it's
the
candle
owners.
Season, y'all.
And we love a good candle. So what you need to do is comment. What should we have them say on our post?
Mazel tov.
Why don't you tell us what you're thankful for?
Yes.
You can be serious. You could be joking. We don't care. But let us know what you're thankful for. We'll put this in the show notes too. So we'll put a link to the post. It'll go on Instagram and Facebook. It'll be Nick and I with this shiny silver 100 balloon. Comment and let us know what you're thankful for, and we will pick a winner.
You're going to need a comment before Friday. Enter Thursday, November 25th. That's Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
At midnight. Enter before 11:59 p.m. because we're going to record on Friday.
Yep.
And we'll announce a winner then. So you have until Thanksgiving night. So get good and blasted and comment that you're thankful your Uncle George didn't show up and feel you up.
Woohoo! So thanks so much, you guys, for being here.
We're going to read some of these on air, so just be prepared.
We're going to read all of them. Just kidding. I hope we get enough that we don't have to read them all, okay? So, guys, with our giveaway said, you know what it's time for.
Kid Corner! Oh, God, 100 episodes in, we effed it up. Let's try it again.
1, 2, 3.
Kid Corner! All right.
Wow, that was good.
You got 2 kids. Which one do you want to do first?
Lucy. Shit, I didn't pick one for each kid. I can't.
Well, you do Lucy, I'll do mine, and then you can think about Elliot. This is hilarious because you talk about Elliot like at a 5-to-3 ratio.
Like Elliot Moore?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're talking about Lucy because you guys have to know.
Lucy May.
Listen, Kid Corner was born out of the fact that we want you to feel okay fucking up as a parent.
It's also totally ripped off from Bill Simmons' podcast.
I don't listen to that, but I believe Nick.
He calls it something slightly different, so don't sue us, Bill Simmons.
It's okay to screw up, but I feel like we do waver, and sometimes we just brag about our kids. But really, my favorite Kid Corner is based on the fact that,
is it when she ate her own poop?
Yes, of course.
I mean, you can't top that.
She ate her own shit. She ate it. She rubbed it all over. She ate it again. Yes, that's the best Kid Corner. I have no idea when I said it. If you didn't hear it, spoiler alert, she ate her own shit. So if you think you're having a bad day or you think you're screwing up as a parent, just remember, she's my second kid, so I should know what I'm doing. And she was 2 years old and ate her own shit.
Mine is also poop related.
Of course.
And it's the first one I ever shared. We talk about family, friends, occasions, and that's what makes things special. The first one I shared was I had Simona on a break, and I took her downtown to meet our banker. Our banker, who's a very, very special person in Sarah and my life. Our banker and his assistant, who that demeans what Donna does. But they're both very special people in our lives. And Mike is dead now, and it's very sad. And he died not very soon after that. And she had a blowout, like a horrible blowout. I was like, we need to, and so I was like taking her in the bank because I knew it was like a very secluded bathroom. And Mike caught me on the way in. I was like, shit.
Literally.
So he's like, oh, you can change her on the dining room table. Or not the dining room table, the conference room table. Like, I've had countless meetings over this. They do like $1 billion deals on this table. And Donna comes in and she's like,
no.
So as I was changing her, she had another blowout all over this table. And Donna was so grateful about it. And Mike, who was ill at the time, was like, and he has got a kid. So he's seen all this, but he's like, I gotta go. It was hilarious. It's like, welcome to being a dad. Welcome to your kids pooping all over your bank's thing. I'm like, they're going to call him the loan.
Oh.
This is,
they're going to go.
But that's the only time she got to meet Mike. And,
is it?
Yeah. So it's just like thinking back on it. It's very meaningful to me. Both from like, it was a time out with my daughter. It was like, welcome to being a dad. And she got to meet some special people in my life and Sarah's life. And it makes me laugh because Mike's face was, if you knew Mike, it was like very quintessential. Mike's like, yep, nope, I'm gone.
Yep, see ya. Smart move, man.
So, so that's my favorite one. And miss Mike.
I mean, I was listening back to episode 1 and listening about that. And I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this story. I didn't think it was episode 1. I thought it was much farther than that.
No, it's...
Ooh. I realized that
she's gotten better at keeping her poop in her diaper.
That's what that happens as they get older. It's a real bonus. I also
do you think how many people do you think we've talked about having kids?
27. Well, I was just going to say that I mostly with Elliot brag about him, which is ridiculous. I get it. But he's older and he does a lot of like smart things. And he's smart, okay? But
he is smart.
We do have an episode called Barf Everywhere, which I am confident is about Elliot.
Oh, it is. It's coming back from...
barfing all over me.
Yes.
Well, there's 2 barf situations. I'm not sure which one. I'm sure I told
this
you
was,
about
yeah.
both. Was this July maybe?
Yep.
When he was barfing in the car. So kids, bodily fluids, what you learn as a parent, and by me, I mean how you pick your partner, which is I picked Tyler to catch vomit in his hand because I don't do that. But I have a knack for knowing when it's coming. And so I'm like...
So you run away.
Driving. But we're in a car and I'm driving and I'm like, he's going to puke. Tyler's going to puke. No, he's not. He's fine. He's going to puke. Sure as shit. Puking, and Tyler's dealing with it. A nice guy came in, like we were pulled over on the side of like a country road. Thank God we weren't on the like highway. We were off on a country road avoiding a traffic jam. And this guy like, hey guys, can we come and help you? And I'm like, our kid's just puking. He's like, okay, bye. So much like Mike. Kid Corner, guys, is really just like, hopefully it makes you laugh, but more importantly, hopefully it's relatable in your life. Hopefully you caught puke recently and can be like, shit, we're all in this together.
On that note.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for commenting. Go enter the contest. Facebook, Instagram.
Etsy gift cards and candles coming your way.
You know what? Let's do a third one on YouTube.
Whoa, Nick.
We got
like
YouTube.
Oprah here, guys. You get a card.
And we're not giving away cars.
Okay, candle and Etsy gift card.
Maybe we could throw in like a matchbook card. No, we're not giving away a car.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. There'll be one winner from each channel, so please go leave a comment. On YouTube, you'll be leaving a comment on the video from this episode. On Facebook and Instagram, you'll be leaving on a picture of Nick and I with the 100 balloon.
I don't know what else to say other than this is great.
Thanks, guys. Happy 100.
Happy 100.
Have a great week.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Woo!
Oh, yeah, we got to say Happy Thanksgiving, right?
Happy Thanksgiving!
We got Friendsgiving coming up. We'll report back. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.